God in Israel, Jesus in the church. The Old and New Testaments are about God and the relationship he has with a group of people that are known together as Israel. Throughout the Bible, this relationship is an allegory of a man taking a bride. See Ezekiel 16. You can say that the entire Bible is a love story between God and his people. But this love story takes a seriously bad turn. The wife becomes adulterous, but it gets worse. She becomes a prostitute. And thinking it can't get worse, it does. She doesn't even charge her lovers for her services. See Ezekiel 23. Most of us know the Ten Commandments, but did you know that this too was a picture of God entering a marriage contract with the people of Israel, with Moses as the negotiator? God as the husband finds the bride, Israel, and they enter into a contract, a covenant. This is marriage. This marriage contract later gets broken by Israel through their adultery, which is described in detail throughout the Old Testament, especially in the prophets. A reading of Ezekiel and Hosea should suffice to see the horrible results of the depravity of the bride, and in turn, the putting away of her by the husband. But wait, there's more. There is a great reconciliation that awaits. There is a great reconciliation that awaits, where the husband will win back the bride. In the New Testament, a radical unveiling takes place when Jesus is pictured as the husband who lays down his life for the bride, which is those who trust in him. The Apostle Paul repeatedly saw this allegory and drove the point home by writing to the church at Corinth. I have betrothed you to one husband, that is Christ. The relationship that believers have with Christ is one of being in a marriage. It's to be that intimate. And as in a marriage, you are friends, but more than friends. You share an intimacy that others do not share. That is what makes monogamy special. It is exclusive. The New Testament actually uses Jesus as the greatest example for men of how to care for a spouse. Many people say Jesus was never married, but that is a misunderstanding. As God in human flesh, he was drawing his bride to him, paying the bridal price by his death on the cross. This is the kind of language of the New Testament. When Jesus lays down his life for the world, he is doing it as a gift to mankind, a pre-marriage gift, a promise, an engagement ring. God and Israel, Jesus and his church, are spoken of in the language of love in marriage. This certainly is one reason why it is very difficult for Christians to part with what is called traditional marriage in our current culture. When a person says the Bible is not specific on marital gender or sexual preferences, they miss the entire story. It's a love story. A man meets a young girl who is lost and alone and rescues her. I will mention briefly that at the end of the Bible there is a culmination of this story. It's called the marriage supper of the Lamb being Jesus. So from the beginning to end, we have one giant intimate love story with twists and turns galore that we get not only to look into, but to participate in the play as well. The intimacy that is had during sex was always meant to point humans to the spiritual world and its truths. There is a greater love story. Intimacy can help us understand that. God speaks to his people Israel. Zechariah 2 verse 8. For whoever touches you touches the apple of my eye.